Hello and welcome back. It is Saturday, June 12th. It has been a little while now since I've recorded one of these. I think maybe 3 weeks or so I'm a little off schedule, but we were doing some traveling and I was still in the midst of pretty much the same project, so I didn't have a whole lot of new updates to share. But today I am pleased to announce I have an FO. It is also what I'm wearing today. And I'll insert a photo so you can better see what it looks like. But this is my second knit test. It is the Ivy Tunic by Knitway. As you can see, it is a short sleeve top with this really pretty neckline and sleeve edging. It's also on the bottom hem, but what I love about this is that it is a knit garment with crochet details. So I got to combine both of my skills in the fiber realm to create this top. I really like the way this feels when I wear it. It's super comfy, very drapey. It's meant to have quite a bit of positive ease. Best part is the pattern is out now, and for the month of June the designer is even offering a discount on it, so be sure to check out Knitway so you can see how to get the pattern. The yarn that I used for this was, I don't think I have any of it here, but it's Kobu in Steel Blue, I think is the color name, and it's a DK weight yarn, and it just feels really wonderful. It's not slippery like the True I've been working with, but it's very smooth and soft. It just creates such a pretty fabric. I want to make more things with this yarn, that's for sure. This, I will definitely say, is probably going to become one of my staple outfits because I just think it's such a comfy top, and it's nice and cool, which is one of the things I was worried about with it being too warm, but it's very airy, very light, very comfortable. I'm excited to keep wearing it. I have an almost FO, so I created a new category this week because I actually thought I was done with it. And then I tried it on after blocking and I decided it wasn't long enough. And that is my Tulip wrap tank by Knititude. And I've actually blocking it for a second time, so it's still a little damp. I'm not going to hold it up so it doesn't stretch out. But I did want to hold up to show the fabric. Look at that sheen. So I tried it on about a week ago now, and it, for me, I should say, I wanted a little more length on it, and because this was started from the bottom up, I had to pick up stitches, and I continued knitting a rib underneath, so it's not an invisible join by any means. It's a little less noticeable on the back because there aren't two panels of fabric like the front. So that's the back panel. You can still see it, but it's not as noticeable. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still learning, so. But the try-ons that I've had, it feels like it's going to be a super cool top to wear. I made it with True, which was very slippery, very difficult to work with, but I love the yarn so much. I've been talking about that for a couple videos now with how hard it's been to work with, but I really still think that the final product will be worth it. So once it is finished drying, I started weaving in the ends, so I only have a few more left. But once it's dried, I will weave in the rest of it. And I need to tack the two front panels into place. I haven't done that yet because I've been kind of fidgeting with the way it fits and sits on my body. So I need to finish that, and then it will be officially done, I hope, because this will be the second time. So I'm counting that as my almost FO. But otherwise, that's all I have for, you know, either close to or finished objects. So for whips, I will show the repeat offenders, which includes the Tidings to You wrap by Amy Gunderson. My mom and I are still working on our Jimmy Beans craft vent. Now I'm blanking on what it's called, whoops. But it's their holiday advent, and this is from 2020. So we're making our way through. We finished this large section. I think last time I showed this, we were either very close or just finished this, and so we introduced a new color. And we actually, last weekend, started a new color that you can't see too well yet, but it's a yellow. So there's yellow and there's this dark brown. So we're working through it. I want to say this yellow is called like mustard, or no, I don't think that's right. But I now have my Ravelry up to date with the color names and everything. It's all Madeline Tosh yarn, single ply, which I'm really liking to work with. So, oh, I'm also including how many grams have been used. So I'll be calculating at the end the yardage that I've used. One of the Advent surprises was this little bag. It's one of their products. Let's see, Delicue mesh bag. So it's containing these two colors that I'm currently working with. And then the snaps kind of keep the strings held in place. Then I can just pull everything out as I need it, which is pretty nifty. And then, of course, the Tern Tunic dress made by Haley Bailey. It is too big to show on frame, but there's the top, and then I'll hold it up so you can see where I'm at with the skirt. And I finally remembered to use like actual progress keepers. So let me see if I can find where I put it on this one. I even had one on my Ivy tunic, but then I finished it before I had a chance to record a podcast. So I had to take it out when I was blocking it. I keep losing the one on this dress though, because it's such a intricate. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, holding it up so you can hopefully see the detail of the skirt. So by now I'm probably close to a foot into this skirt, and I want to probably want to do at least 2 feet, if not a little more than that. I haven't tried it on yet since I've started the skirt, but I know the bottom of the top part, so like right here, that falls at about my belly button, I think, maybe a little higher. And I want this to be at least, well, probably close to knee length. But I also realize that this is going to stretch a little over time with the weight, so I want to make it a little shorter than that to try and counter that stretch. But my progress keeper is right here. You can see this. This is from Hello Lavender Design, from their Hocus Pocus collection last year. And then this is, I haven't been working on this as much either because I needed to get this test done for this week. So this was definitely my priority over the last few weeks. So I really plowed through this and then picked this up when I either needed just a palette cleanser or a break from knitting. But that's still a good, like 5 inches probably. So not bad. But I still have a little ways to go. Maybe halfway done with the skirt, but probably not quite halfway done, would be my guess. I should try it on at some point just to kind of see where it falls. But I figure I have quite a ways to go anyway. I do have something new to show though, because I was close enough to this. I knew I was getting close on my Tulip wrap tank, so I decided to start my Halloween sweater that I have been wanting to make, and that is the Superstitious Pullover by Michael Shawn. So I've only done the gauge swatch, but I wanted to show it here. This is the color I ended up picking for my main color of the sweater, and it is City Tweed DK in the color Jacquard. And I really like this teal color and the way the tweedy bits look in it. And the reason I ended up picking this color, I really wanted to do like an autumn colors this sweater, but if you haven't seen this sweater, it is a colorwork sweater. It'll also be my first colorwork and my first knit sweater. Does that make me a little ambitious? Maybe. Does it make me a little nervous? A little bit. But I'm using this color pack from Little Wolf Knits because the sweater is based around Hocus Pocus, and so it has the Sanderson sisters. So like that orange was for Winnie's hair, and then it has like the option to do black cats and I think a broomstick, and there's words on it. Amok, amok, amok is one of the words. Hocus Pocus is another set of words, and then there's like cobweb detailing. So I wanted to make sure that these colors would have enough contrast with my main color, particularly like the brown and the black. And then of course, because I had the orange of Winnie's hair and the red for Mary's clothing, I didn't want to get too close to fall colors because I also wanted there to be enough contrast and not a lot of clashing. So ultimately I decided on the teal, and I thought it would make for a really pretty base. This swatch does meet gauge. I think it's a little, I get a little more rose than it calls for, but my width is where it needs to be. It's also my first time swatching in the round, which I should have done previously, but it took me a little bit to realize that there was a difference. So, first official swatch in the round. I cheat and I do gauge swatch, but I don't do a full 4-inch. That's not true. I do the full 4-inch widthwise, but then I'll usually go about half height-wise to get these little rectangles, and then do like a 2-inch, go a little bit past 2 inches and measure out 2 inches here. So I swatch, but I also don't do a full swatch. Don't come at me. But I really like it. Also feels really nice, this fabric. Like just kind of like pulling it a little bit, it just feels like it's gonna make for a really nice sweater. I wouldn't say it's super soft, but I don't think it doesn't feel scratchy, and I think it looks scratchier than it feels. So it's not luxurious like my Kobu, I'll say that. But let's see, what is this even? It's 55% merino wool, 25% superfine alpaca, and 20% Donegal tweed. So I don't know if it's the alpaca that makes up for the difference. I mean, like I said, it doesn't feel, I don't think it's going to be uncomfortable against my skin. It's just not the Kobu. But I'm so excited and scared. I finally decided on the size that I'm going to knit up because I'm in between sizes. And after I went through, I was having a hard time deciding because I usually size up. I don't like tight-fitting clothes, but then I was reading some of the notes in people's project pages on Ravelry, and a lot of them were saying that they wish they had sized down. And the sweater's supposed to have 0 ease. And I was only 1 inch away from the smaller size, but I was 3 inches away from the bigger size. So I figure I'd probably be safe sizing down if people had wished that they went smaller to begin with. So we'll see. But this fabric does have some stretch to it too. I mean, I don't want it like stretching out and looking like it's trying to squeeze me, but we'll see. We'll see. So that is my main color. I am going to try and do all 3 Sanderson sisters. I'd like to do one of each and then repeat around the yoke. And then I can't remember, I keep going back and forth on the other symbols and what I want to do. I think I decided I don't want to flat out put the words Hocus Pocus on there, but I do want the Sanderson sisters. I don't know if I'll do the cats. I haven't fully decided what I want to do, but this is a start. Let's see. So now it's time for some mail. And I'm going to start with the things that I received first, and that is Dragon Horde Yarn is doing a series, a mystery series based on the Disney princesses, and each kit contains 8 mini skeins, and there are 3 of them. So I thought it'd be fun to do like one of the advent patterns I have saved up. Each princess gets 1 variegated and 1 tonal. So let me make sure. I think this is the first one. So this is the first one. This was Maze. And if you received this, hopefully by now you would have gotten your May one. But let's see. We have Ariel. These 2 here. Merida. These 2 here. And then, oh, let me make sure. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong ones. This is Belle. These 2 here, this red and this like yellow brown. I didn't want to take this out of the bag, so I'm sorry for the glare, but I wanted to keep them all side by side. And it's easier to do it this way than to try to hold them all in my hands. And then this is Jasmine. These 2 right here. So Jasmine, Belle, Merida, and Ariel. So that was Maze. And then if you've purchased June, but you haven't received the June one yet, this is your warning to look away, because I'm going to hold it up. I just got this week. So, of course, off the bat we have Rapunzel. And then we have Moana. And then Cinderella. And Snow White. And then together, that's what we have so far. There's one more for July. I'm trying to remember who was in that one, but I don't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I want to say, oh, I just saw them too. I think Pocahontas was one of them in there, and maybe Anna. Yeah, and I can't remember the other 2. But again, there will be 8 mini skeins for 4 princesses. So, and that will conclude the set. So that's that. I haven't decided which pattern I want to use them for yet, but I just thought it'd be a fun themed thing. I'm a sucker for themed things. And then next, I'm going to show my Pokemon yarn from Red Door Fiber Studios. It is based on the grass type So the variegated is grass type. In fact, you can see it there. Grass type, and then the coordinating solid is called razor leaf. And I got the DK weight because I'm putting it out in the universe. I had an idea of something I want to try to design, and it's going to be a shawl with like grass type themed elements, and I'm excited to do it, but I don't know when I'll do it. But at least the yarn's here now, so I can start playing with like gauge swatches, because I couldn't really start figuring out stitch counts and things like that. Like, I've picked out the motifs that I want to use and kind of the game plan for what I want it to look like, but as far as like the technical diving in and going through gauge and figuring out like maybe how wide I want it to be, I haven't really been able to do any of that until I got the yarn, so I could play with exactly what I'm going to be using. So that is for the future. I don't even have a plan for what that timeline's gonna look like, because I've designed roughly super basic things like bags and some amigurumi, and of course that's all crochet too. This shawl I'm going to try and do knit, because I liked the knit motifs I found better than some of the crochet ones. Like, I couldn't find enough crochet elements that I liked that I thought would really represent grass type. So I'm also going in with the medium that I'm less familiar with. So no timeline, just an ambitious goal, a someday goal for me. The last thing that I want to share is I did post this up in my Instagram stories last weekend, but we were in Boise celebrating a friend of ours, and there was a local yarn shop there that I got to visit called The Twisted You, and I showed the bag logo. It's so cute. In fact, I might insert a photo of it here too. It's like a steampunk sheep. So cute, and the store was really adorable, and I enjoyed browsing through it, and my husband helped me pick out 2 skeins. This person was just there doing a trunk show like the week before, so this was leftover. Alexandra's Crafts from Silverton, Oregon is the name of the dyer, but this is 100% superwash merino, fingering weight, single ply, and the color is called Emerald Forest. Let's try that. Get a full look. So I got 2 skeins. Don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I figured 2 is a safe place to start, because then I can either, if I need something else, I can pull like this purple or this teal. Probably not the brown, because these colors are just, well, maybe the brown. Depends. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. That's a further away, and then close up. I'm still on the single ply kick, so. But it was super pretty. This color definitely caught my attention. So that was my first non-local yarn shop visit. And even then, I've only been to my local yarn shop a couple of times. Something I plan on doing more often now that things are opening back up. But it was fun to be able to see another one while we were traveling. So that is all I have to share today. We had some FOs, some whips that are just gonna keep whipping, and then a look at the future. So a mix of everything today. Definitely had quite a bit of mail to show, because it's been a while since I've had anything to share with you, and that's where I'm at. So until next time, follow me on Instagram if you want. I'm not as active there as I probably should be, but I do obsessively update my Ravelry. very obsessively. Like my percentage of the project completed, I'm always updating that. And I have a couple of secret projects there that I have not ever shown here on the podcast. One I'll have ready to show very soon, but because it's a secret, I don't want to show it until it's completed and given away. And then the other is another secret for the same reason that I'm not going to show here. Plus it's kind of a hassle to carry around, so that is all there. I keep track of the yarn I use, how much of it once the project's done. I have photos if it's like a garment of me wearing it, and like detail shots, because I feel like a lot of times people on Ravelry will post like the garments, but it's either like a flat lay or on a mannequin, and I just wish more people would show it how it looks on them, because I'm looking for the way it fits. And so I figure if I can help other people who might wish for the same thing, then I'm happy to do that. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I do have a fun favorite section where I save I call it Advent pattern section, but it's, for lots of different mini skeins. I keep it for my own handy reference to make decisions for when I have things like the Disney Princess set, or like when I plan on getting another Advent calendar this year. And I realized that other people were looking for that kind of information too. So I do have a bundle there that has, I think, probably at least 15 patterns that I've just browsed through, over the last year or so as I come across them, or as I'm specifically looking for patterns that use up a bunch of minis. I'll save them into that bundle, and then I've also made notes about like how many the pattern calls for, or how much of a mini the pattern calls for, like if it's a 10 gram versus a 20 gram. And it's been really handy for me to just go there and have a quick look for when I'm planning different Advent projects. Like that's where I put my adventurer wrap that I used for last year's Dragon Horde yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations Advent. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for this year's yet, but I'm eyeing a couple of the more unique ones. Like I know wraps and shawls and things like that are pretty easy go-to for a collection of minis like that, but also I'm trying to be better about it, because now that I'm more into knitting and crocheting, I want to like wear the things that I make, but there are still only so many wraps that I can wear. So I have like a cardigan that someone designed specifically for like 24 minis, or I think there's like a shirt too, a t-shirt that uses a bunch of minis. I'm trying to think if there are others that stand out in my brain. There's some blankets, and like I've included some scrap like socks, and I think there's a hat and like wrist warmers that are meant to use the scraps of minis once you're done with them. Of course, I'm doing my own scrappy mini blanket, so everything that I have left over is going to that blanket right now, and it's only like maybe 1.5 feet wide, so I have plenty of room there for those. But anyway, if you're interested in that, 'tis the season. People are starting to post their holiday box plans. In fact, many of the dyers that I follow have already done their updates for that time of year. So if you are interested in maybe a repertoire of patterns that are easy to find at your fingertips, I've compiled one over there on Ravelry. That is where I'm going to leave it. Until next time.